more for others than they want for themselves. And I think that's the hardest thing for me. That was the hardest lesson for me to learn, because I always wanted to save people. You know, I broke up a gang fight. Like it was kind of like a gang fight. Like just got back from a wedding, so I'm like in heels, ball gown, everything, and I hear this woman screaming, and I'm like in my brain instantly, I ran down the stairs from my hotel, and there was like a bunch of people, and these two guys were getting into some kind of fight, and I literally pulled these guys away from each other. And I was like, you get the fuck out of here, I'm calling the police, because I thought this woman was getting beat. And then the one guy ran off, and then he came back with like a beer bottle and was gonna try and break it on his head. And I like literally went like, if you fucking do, like I went crazy on this guy, and they all like dispersed and ran, right? Like that's me, right? So, but I've had to learn to let go. You know, one of the modalities that I use when I'm working with people is the I Ching. The I Ching is the 64 codes of consciousness that run through the planet, and it's not esoteric. This is like Eastern philosophy. The I Ching is literally the foundation of every single religious text that exists, right? And there's 64 of these codes that run throughout the planet throughout the year. And one of them, and they each have a shadow, they have a gift, and they have an essence. And one of them is patience, right? The gift is patience. And obviously the shadow to that is impatience. But what does that mean? It means loving and accepting where people are, right? You're where you're at, and that's totally okay, right? It's living a life without judging, right? Because you can imagine, I grew up in a world full of judgment because my mom straight said the second I was born that I was judging her. So you can imagine that was my life, constantly being judged.